I want to talk about it's about bloodline. That's the title of the video. It's about bloodline. I hear a lot of people, they always, we done repeated things from Esau, the white man, that we done came up off of, that we learned from our enemies. But I want to show you the purpose of me is I'm going to use the Bible. Yes, the Bible has all of the truth in here. We hear their people say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the color, right? They'll say, well, I don't care what color you are. Um, I just believe that God don't judge people based upon ethnicity. Or you sitting here telling me that God is basically going they're gonna have salvation based upon salvation determines your genealogy and all that type of stuff. This is what people say. They use all of those words, but they scam words, right? You know what I'm saying? But when you read in the Bible is different. Now, the Bible is different from Christianity. Christianity promotes all of that type of stuff. The Bible itself is a history book with Black, Hispanic people in here. It's all about the Israelites in the Bible. If you read closely and carefully in the Bible, now there are certain things that you can read and it's kind of easy to go off, like they talk about Jew and Gentile and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's very clear in the Bible. They're Gentiles or Gentiles, Jews are Jews. Look, you can't base an ethnicity up off of the way, and I had to learn that the hard way because I was thinking about it. You can't look at people and judge people based upon, oh, that's that person, that's their ethnicity. Oh, he looks like an Ethiopian, so he's an Ethiopian. Oh, this person, no, I was born here. I'm where you from? I'm from Nigeria. I'm from Spain. I'm from Ethiopia. I'm Kim from Kenya. That's the same as Ethiopia, right? I'm from here. I'm from there. I'm from here. I'm from this place. Oh, I was born and raised here. Oh, where you from? Oh, I'm from the islands of Puerto Rico. Let's break that down. Cut to the nutshell. Where you're born, where you was raised, does not determine or does not make your nationality. It doesn't. It doesn't. We say God loves everybody. We done told people all of that. When you go, why is it that when you go into the Bible, you read something totally different from what people are saying out there? Just like in the days of Noah, only 8 people were saved by water flood, right? Only 8 people, right? Didn't they had millions of people probably outside the ark? That as soon as the rain came and the flood came, they was beating on the door and they was begging for Noah to open the ark of the door to let them in. You know, like a parent. You know what I'm saying? To let them in because they didn't believe in God. They didn't believe His word. They just accepted the opinions of man, the ways of Esau, the ways of the Edomites. You know what I'm saying? Um, but where you were born determine where you was raised at. If you was raised, just because you may be have certain access to citizenship to certain things, but it doesn't make your race. It doesn't make your race based upon how you look. What determines your race or whatever you a race and a nationality is not the same thing. A race is just um, a name of something. You know what I'm saying? A nationality is uh, is based upon like an ethnicity, where you from. I mean, who you are, nationality. A nationality is based upon who you are. Um, you know what I'm saying? What's the word I was using? The first word, nationality. in a race. A race, like, for example, Puerto Rican is not a race. For example, Costa Rican is not a race. Costa Rican would be considered a nationality. It would be a nationality. What is the true nationality of Costa Rica? What is the true nationality of Judah, of black? What is the truth? If you think about the word black, black is just a color. That's all it is. It's just color. Those are names. But can you find, like, for example, can you find African and American in the Bible? Where are those terms at? If these things are not in the Bible, if they're not biblical, why are we following those? Something that's, shouldn't we be following things that are biblical? We should be following things that's biblical. But I want to read something real simple from First Chronicles in the Bible. It's from the Old Testament, and I want to show you how important nationalities are. If nationality or genealogy doesn't matter, then it wouldn't really, if simply, it wouldn't even be in the Bible. Just like if you made out a list how many cars you wanted me to wash. If I went on a job and you gave me instructions and told me what you want me to do, if you want me to stop, if you want me to do the recovering, and if you want me to do whatever it is in the store or whatever, like be the manager in this area, count the money in here. If you want to, like, take care of what the business in the stores and stuff. Um, when they give you them instructions, you can't buy. It was something I was gonna put with them, but the rules that they give, it does matter. If they tell me to do one thing on a job, and I say it doesn't matter as long as I'm doing something, then that's gonna be a problem to the managers. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be an issue. So, yes, it does matter. To an extent, it does matter. All right. Let's read a little bit of here, and then I'm going to skip down and go to, um, we'll see. First Chronicles 26, verse 1. Concerning the division of the porters of the Cushites, the Koratites sons. The Koratites was Mishmath, the sons of Korah, of the sons of Asaph, and the sons of Mahaliam, Mah, Mah, Mesh, Mish, Mishamath were Zechariah the firstborn, Jediah the second, Zebiah the third, Jethniah the fourth, Elam the fifth, Johanan the sixth, Eloenai the seventh. More of the sons of Obed-Edom were Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Johiah the third, and Sakkar the fourth, Nathaniah the fifth. Now, I'm gonna go down. These are the sons of Obed-Edom. They and their sons and their brethren, able men for strength for the service, were 62 of Obed-Edom. Mishamath had sons, brethren, strong men, 18. Now, the reason I read that is 18 nations in the Bible. Mishimah, the fourth, like he was talking about Mishimah, all of these makes up the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Now let's go to First Chronicles chapter. Let's go to verse 5 first. I'm going somewhere with this. Now, and I'm gonna make a point with the top topic here. Uh First Chronicles chapter 5, verse 1. Now, the sons of Reuben, which is the firstborn of the Israelites, Jacob's son, the first, now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, the Israelites, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his brother's bed, and his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph. Okay, the firstborn, Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed and his birthright. This is going into Genesis to where I think one of the brothers, uh, one of them, I think Judah, Reuben, one of them defiled their father's marriage bed. One of them. It says, and his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph. And now let's talk about what birthright means. I'm gonna break it down to the best of my ability. A birthright is simply the commandments. I'll say the commandments of God, the birthright, the right, righteousness. Like they talk about Jacob's soul's birthright. That's simply talking about the will of God, just to make it simple. The will of God, the birthright. And when it talks about the bed, defiling the bed, they didn't mean that they didn't keep the commandments of God. They sold their birth. They sold themselves to do evil instead of keep the commandments of God. That means that's another way of committing fornication, but you committing adultery against the commandments of God. And the sons of Israel and the genealogy is a family tree. That's what genealogy is. So when you hear that word genealogy, it's talking about family tree. And is not to be reckoned after the birthright. The birthright that's talking about the cult. It's the Israelite culture. You see what I'm saying? It's like an Israelite culture, and the culture of Israel is dealing with the Torah, and you find more about the Torah in the first 5 books of Moses, like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. All right, let's keep going. For Judah, now this is Judah, talking about the blacks, the so-called black, and Judah is a short term for the word Jew. Judah, Jew, is a short term for the word Jew, but it's related to the talking about the Israelites. For Judah had prevailed above his brother, and of him came the chief ruler. But the birthright was Joseph's. The birthright, that means that's talking about going into the birth of Christ, him birthing the Messiah. You know what I'm saying? Him when he slept with Mary. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about him, the genealogy of Joseph. You know what I'm saying? You know that this is talking about the genealogy of Christ when it says that, because Judah, in if you look at Genesis, and I got to get the context of that. So we're still dealing with blood. It's about bloodline. Let's look at that. Genesis chapter 38. I think I'm saying it right. Genesis. Am I saying it right? Genesis 38. I think. All right. I think I'm close by. It says, Genesis 38, verse 1. 1. I mean, Genesis 38, verse 20. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the man of that place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the way? Saying, and they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the man of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast found her. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's go up. Oh, here we go. Let's go jump back up to Genesis chapter 38 and verse 12. And in the process of time, the daughter of Shelah, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted, and he went up unto his sheep and to Timnath, he and his friend Harlan and Adullamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, the father of goeth up to Timnath to share his sheep. Let's go down to verse, let's skip and go down to verse 15. Genesis chapter 38, verse 15. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because he had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. This is it. And she said, What wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me? This is talking about Judah. And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, What wilt thou give me a pledge unto thou send it? She was his daughter-in-law. She, like it's like prostitution. And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet and thy bracelet and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it unto her. You know how men, they take women and they look, it sounds like a lot about in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American culture. The woman want bracelets. She wants you to take a shop, and she wants you to do all these things. And then she said, You can have my body. So Judah, which is the tribe of Judah, which is the so-called Black, because this is how you can tell who the Black, Hispanic, and our people are, being the Jews. You see what I'm saying? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet and thy bracelet and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it unto her, and came in unto her, and she was conceived by him. And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the man of that place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the way and the wayside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he turned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be ashamed. Be ashamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months late, 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, has played the harlot, and also behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt. And when she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the men whose these are, I am with child. And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the sight and the bracelets and the staff. And Judah acknowledged them and said, she had been more righteous than I. Okay, she has been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Sheila, my son. So Judah, he went in and messed with his own daughter-in-law, and he knew her again no more. And it came to pass in the time of her travail, she was finna give birth, that behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand in a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. And it came to pass as he drew back his hand, and that behold, his brother came out. And she said, how hast thou broken forth this breath be upon thee? Therefore his name was called Perez. Okay, now, and if you read further in here, the Bible says that Judah's firstborn was wicked in the sight of God, and the Lord put him to death. The Lord slew him. It's the King James say he slew him, but in the new revised version of the Bible, it says that and the Lord put him to death, death. You know. So let's go back to this over here. It said, for Judah prevailed above his brethren, and of him came the chief ruler. But the birthright was Joseph, because remember, Judah had defiled his way of keeping the way of God. And it was all about keeping the commandments. You see what I'm saying? And because they didn't keep the commandments, then Joseph took over, and God used Joseph. You see what I'm saying? Judah's brother, Judah, the Judah, which will be the black, so-called black, and it's, the so-called black people. And Judah went in and defiled his marriage bed. He defiled his son's marriage. And they found out 3 months later that Judah, the black man, he was pregnant for his daughter-in-law. But they say Judah didn't even know that he didn't even know that she was his daughter-in-law for some reason. So let's keep going. So the point I'm making is Judah got judged now. Judah got judged. Let's see how Judah got judged. I can look it up in the Bible, but I'm gonna let this. I'm gonna Google it and find it quick and go back and read it. Judah's firstborn was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord put him to death. Okay, Genesis 38, 6 through 11. Let's go there. Genesis 36. Genesis 38, verses 6 through 11. Genesis 38, verses 6. Let's read. Let's start at verse 6. It says, and Judah took a wife of his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. That means the Lord put him to death. So that's one of the consequences that the black man, this is the black, this is the proper name for the black race in the Bible. It says Judah had children. Now remember, Judah went and defiled his son's marriage bed, right? And then the consequences that Judah had to pay, the curses came upon him because he didn't keep the commandments of God. Look, it said, and Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. Now, the moral of this video is for me, not nobody else, for me, is to break the curses and not create a evil bloodline. That's how I interpret it. In other words, let's break it down a little further. I can't be on here speaking on the Bible, right? And sitting up there with my mother, let's say, in a nursing home, right? How would that look? Think about that. What the hell would I look like going around encouraging another brother take care of his parents, his father, his mother? They was there for you. They were doing this here. And I'm sitting on here reading the Bible, and you study my life up, and you find out he on the internet putting this information out here, and he got his own mother in the nursing home. What kind of fucking sense would that make? You see what I'm saying? What kind of sense would that make? For me to do that, I would feel like a complete stupid. I would feel completely stupid and dumb as hell. It would be. That would be retarded and done. That's what you would call retarded. You know what I mean? It's a waste of time reading this here. But I just want to say what I'm saying, what I'm reading, I'm actually living what I talk about. I live what I talk about. Isn't, not throwing shade, not doing that. I genuinely, when it comes to lying, I take that very seriously. Yeah. When it comes to, I may tell a person off now, I get mad in a minute and I will go the hell off in a minute. But when it comes down to something right and respecting somebody, I don't even like to even put myself in a situation to be thinking about doing something like that to somebody, disrespecting somebody. You know what I'm saying? They families or they loved ones or something. No, you ain't gonna find me doing that. but I will be bold and tell the truth. You know, um, it says, and Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. That means he killed him. Meaning he put him to death. And Judah said unto Omna, go in unto thy brother's wife, marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. Now, why would he tell him? And Judah said unto Omna, go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. Because I would say, because they kept things in the family. Go into thy father's. And Judah said unto Omna, go in unto thy brother's wife, thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. You see what I'm saying? So, in other words, they kept things in the family. This is how they kept the bloodline of the culture. They kept things within their own culture, clean. You see what I'm saying? And it's about bloodline. You see what I'm saying? It's not about. You notice that color was not mentioned here. When people say, "Oh, it's not about the content of like they would say Martin Luther King," it's not about um, Martin Luther King didn't judge people based upon the content, their color, but the character, not based upon their skin color, but on the content of their character. Now, in one sense that they're right, but they use it also to manipulate too at the same time. Because in one sense, when you say it's not about color, it's about the content of the character. In one sense, it's about bloodline. You see what I'm saying? Because you have a lot of people that looks like some of everything. You can be born anywhere and you can look like anything. I can go and be born here in America and genetically I can be something else. You see what I'm saying? And that's understandable. You know what I mean? You can be born and raised here and genetically you can be I'm just gonna make up something Puerto Rican. You can be Spaniard. You see what I'm saying? What is a Spaniard? Spaniards are white people. You see what I'm saying? These are just examples that I'm putting out there. You know, you can be born in America, but genetically you can be African. Just because you look a certain way, it's not about how you look. It's not about how you act. It's not about the mentality. It's about bloodline. That's all. I don't care what you act like, what you look like. You are who you are through bloodline. That's why I don't understand when people debate. I don't see no reason to go and debate somebody about, uh, well, you know, Israelite. I understand that the so-called white man is the enemy, but no, it ain't got nothing to do with none of that. If the so-called white, if they are your enemy, they just your enemy. If you're an enemy, you're just an enemy. It's either you one or the other one. It's either you it or you ain't. Simple as that. What you debating for? You wasting time. What you arguing for? It's just a waste of time. Well, what would I look like going outside of the black, Hispanic, and Native Americans go and debate with a heathen? He's a heathen. What you gonna do? You wasting time debating with a Gentile, a heathen? It's a waste of time. Why would you do that? When I can be taking that information and that energy and using it to build my brother up to let him know he's an Israelite according to God and he wanted to come back. It's either you it or you ain't. It's either you what's they call it, Costa Rican, or you ain't. You know what I mean? It's either you Zebulon or you not. Zebulon, that's in the Bible, it makes up the 12 tribes of Israel. But these man-made terms like Costa Rican and Panamanian and all of that, those are man-made terms. The real true name for that would be Zebulon in the Bible. God calls you one thing, and you have to remember, a lot of the Israelites were scattered all over the world. Like when you read, you may read something in the New Testament where it says, "Go into all nations and preach the gospel to every creature," and all this type of stuff. Preach the gospel. Most people will take that out of context and mean it's talking about every single body all over the world. But you literally can go in the Bible and you can read that there are different worlds in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So this video is entitled, "It's About Bloodline." It's about bloodline. It's not about how you look. It's not about how light you is. It's not about how dark you is. It's not about how much hair you have. It's less hair you got. This is what you is. Or more hair. This is what you is. The color you are is what you are. It's about uh, bloodline. As simple as that. And you judge people based upon the actions, not what they look like. And that's what a lot of our women need to get out of that too. Like when you look at these videos online, like, oh, I want me a man that look like, as soon as they see the car, they go rushing back to the car. You don't do that. That's dumb as hell doing some shit like that. You don't do that. If I had a daughter, of course I would tell her that. I say, no, you don't do it. You don't judge a man based upon how he look. Oh, you don't look like you balling like that, or you don't look like you doing this, or whatever the hell that damn word is that they use. That's dumb and it's stupid as hell to be using a word like that. I like scammers and trappers and all this. What the hell? Where that shit come from? You see what I'm saying? That don't even make no sense. Oh, and I want to say this to my friends too. Don't let no one tell you that you got to be something else outside of who you are, and you got to step your game up, and you got to do all this, and you got to do this. I'm not against growing or nothing like that, but that has nothing to do with stepping your game up, whatever they want to call it. Step your game up if you want this to happen. If you, in order to get more views on your, no, you be yourself and lead. And hell no, be who you are. Be what you was born to be. You be natural. Be origin. Be original. I mean, stay original. You see what I'm saying? The way you came out the womb, that's the way you're gonna leave in. If you came out the womb bloodline nation of this, that's what you're gonna leave here as. You ain't gonna be one nation, you ain't gonna be nationality born this way, and then all of a sudden you're gonna leave here Korean and all that Chinese. Now all of a sudden I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna be a spiritual Chinese. That's stupid. You see what I mean? So don't get caught up into that. You don't judge people based upon how, and when they see they car, as soon as they see the car, they go, oh, I didn't know he was driving this kind of car, a Lamborghini, one of the expensive $100,000 cars and stuff. They gon' that shit don't even make no damn sense. It doesn't. It just don't make any sense. And if you have sons and daughters, you should be teaching them this. You should be telling them that. Tell them that don't get caught up in that. If you have a YouTube channel, you ain't got to go around and try to like, oh, they saying I need to put this type of content out there, improve, get all these thousands of subscribers. That's dumb as hell. You ain't got to do that. Just be yourself. Just be you. That's all you got to do. You see what I'm saying? When YouTube first started, and I'm gonna add this in there. I know that people gonna say it has nothing to do with the topic, but I'm gonna say it like this. When YouTube first started, if you go look at YouTube, perfect example. People was upload videos because it was fun. The only reason why I upload videos, I'm gonna tell you the real reason why I upload and record videos every single day. Because I love doing it. I love it. That's why I love it. I get a joy out of it. I love making content. I love making videos. It doesn't matter if nobody never click on this video. It doesn't matter. I got videos on here right now, and I got other channels. If you want me to put them in the link in the description, I'll put the video links in the description box down below. But I got videos that's 4 and 5 and 6 years, almost 6 years old. They ain't got not one view. Nobody never watched it. But guess what? I love looking at my. Sometimes I go back and I look at myself and I'm like, dang, I be enjoying my own videos sometimes. But I go and watch other content creators. You know what I'm saying? I do. I go and watch other content creators. Yeah. So you can't really go by that. You see what I'm saying? You can't judge a book like they always say you can't judge a book by its cover, and it's blending with the title. Because people judge you based upon um, how you look. You judge people based upon what their ethnicity is. That's why the Israelites be out there asking, "What's your nationality? What's your nationality?" Because you can look like one thing, but genetically you can be this. You know, genetic by nature you can be an Israelite. I mean, you can be something else other than Israel or something. You know, yeah. So you can't always just go go by what how and a lot of women they need to get out of that. You can't be doing that. Oh well, he driving this car and they go to running back. They go to running back like they running like they a track star. Go to rushing back to the cars and stuff. That's why you can't never judge a book by its cover because a lot of times our people gonna miss out on a fortune doing that. If you ever getting involved with a guy or whatever, you don't judge a person right away, right off the rip, based upon how he look. That's not right. You don't do that. You judge a person based upon their their actions, their character, not based upon you get to know them for once they tell you who they are, then you can make a judgment. You make a judgment based upon what they tell you. Then you can make a judgment. This is what they said. And the Bible tells you judge nothing before the time. So I'm not gonna hold this video out too long. I wasn't expecting to go up to 43 minutes or what. I wasn't expecting to go that long, but I did. But the video is entitled "It's About Bloodline." Uh, Now I'm out. I guess I get up out of here and I'll see y'all later. I'll come back with some more. Let me know if I left out anything, and y'all let me know in the comments. But I'm gonna put the links to the old videos, and I'm gonna show y'all. And you click on them and you see them. You ain't gonna see no views on a lot of them. You're gonna see maybe one view, maybe 2 or 3. On some of them, you ain't gonna see no views, and they like 5, almost 6 years old. All right, now I'm out.